Hey, it's Nyla, and welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time, welcome. Today I am going to talk about the third part in this three-part series that originally wasn't supposed to be a three-part series, but turned into a three-part series, which I'm not mad about. So today I am going to walk you through how I plan out my day-to-day every single day and how I organize my life categories. So this entry, I just did this today. It's for a Tuesday, and this is going to be short and sweet and pretty simple. So basically what I do is, if you saw parts 1 and 2, you kind of have an idea of what your goals are and also what your life categories are and how you define those categories. And if you do not see part 1 and 2 yet, then you'll easily be able to access it. We'll find out how, depending on my editor, how we'll be able to access it. You can also check my playlist on my page. I have it categorized under lifestyle categories, I believe. So basically what I do every single morning is, this literally takes me maybe like 15 minutes at the most, and it honestly depends on if I have it all there. So what I do is I list out each category, and then I put whatever my goal is for the day for that category. The first category that I have listed here is spiritual, and then every single morning I do my gratitude journal. I list out 5 things that I'm grateful for. I might miss it here and there if I'm not feeling all that great. For the most part, I'm doing my gratitude journal every single day. And the next thing I have are my morning affirmations. I have a list of affirmations that I go through. And keep in mind, this process takes me maybe like 10 or 15 minutes. And it may be different for you depending on what your goals are. But for me right now, my gratitude journal and my morning affirmations are typically always under my spiritual category, and I will literally check it off. I do it before I get out of bed. So the next category I have listed here is social, and because social relates to business as I've defined it, what I typically list here is based on whatever my goal is. If you're planning out your goals monthly, this should be a list of goals that you want to achieve or work up to for that month. If you're planning out your goals yearly, it should be how you're going to achieve those goals for the year. For me, it changes. If you want to keep it simple, I would just say stay within a month. If you have certain goals that you want to achieve for the month, you want to track your mini goals for how you're going to achieve things for that month. Under social, I listed new interactions, and I also listed new growth. So one of my goals, obviously as a blogger, is to grow my audience. So I want to continue to interact with new people, so I want to track how many new people I've interacted with, and then also my growth that as far as my following count. So my next category is health, fitness, and beauty, and for the most part what I'm trying to track here is whether or not I worked out that day, and then also healthy foods that I'm eating. I try to work out at least, sorry, crazy cat things. So for me, this is definitely an ongoing thing. It's not just like a monthly goal, but I want to get into the habit of working out, not daily, but working out at least 3 or 4 times a week. And then I also want to get into the habit of eating at least 1 healthy food a day. This plays into my ultimate end goal of one of my health, fitness, beauty goals, which is to eat very healthy food and actually thoroughly enjoy it. So the next category I have listed is finances. Based on my definition for finances, which is anything to do with money, here I listed money for my birthday, which previously I had listed money for travel, and this was actually on there for a few pages because I wanted to remind myself to save X amount of money in order to travel based on whatever my goal was for how much money I would need to travel. So I was finally able to check off that goal, but for me this was actually a really good constant reminder, hey, put this X, Y, and Z aside, because I was always writing it and always reminding myself. So the next thing that I have listed here is home, which is anything to do with the home. And for me, my current priority is straightening up, making sure things are clean. And then I also listed on here laundry because I want to make sure I do my laundry at least once a week. So obviously this is, you know, going to change depending on whatever your goals are. I don't know if you hear them running around, but anyway. So the next category that I have listed here is business. And basically what I do is I write down anything that I need to achieve for that day. And then I don't always finish every task that I have listed. So what I end up doing is I go back to the page before or a couple pages before sometimes, and I look at what I did not complete, and I put that as a high priority on my to-do list or my task list. It's pretty straightforward. That's how I organize my business category. The next category is leisure. I want to make sure that I have leisure listed every single day, because as you'll see, I don't have every single life category listed every day, but in order to have some type of work-life balance, I really want to make sure that I have leisure listed every single day. Even if it's just something as simple as if I don't have time to read, you know, a book for an hour, I want to make sure that I at least spend like 20 minutes looking up, you know, books that I want to read, or maybe creating a list of books that I want to read. But you want to make sure that you try to put leisure on there every single day, even if it's like 5 minutes that you have to spend just doing absolutely nothing at all. But try to make sure you put leisure on there every single day. The next thing I have listed out is my schedule, and my schedule really helps me to stay on task throughout the day, because usually if I'm working on something and if I get really into it and it's not completely important and I can, you know, push it off to the next day. For example, if I'm coming up with a bunch of ideas and I have 10 ideas listed and I am like trying to find more ideas, but that's enough for right now, I want to make sure that whatever time I have allotted for myself for, you know, whatever that task is, that I'm staying on task. Obviously, I'm not always sticking to the exact times for everything. Sometimes I might finish something a little bit earlier, sometimes I might finish something a little bit later, but this really helps me to stay on task throughout the day, and I'm constantly checking this. And it's much easier than making a calendar notification in my phone, because I try to keep my phone separate from me when I'm working, to avoid constantly grabbing my phone and looking at it, checking notifications, etc., and then going down that spiral. So if I'm just grabbing my book and I'm looking at a piece of paper, it's much easier for me to stay on task. I also like to throw in little things like I'll put my mood on here, because it kind of helps me to analyze how I'm feeling that day, which may not necessarily affect my mood for the rest of the day, but that's when I'll put my mood down. I'll really sit down, and it's really time to just think about exactly what I'm feeling. And then I can go ahead and put down like an affirmation. And I can have an affirmation that will help me to dissect whatever it is that I'm feeling, and then just help me to move forward from that. If you'll notice, I do not have all of my life categories listed on here. For example, I don't have travel listed, and I don't have any of my relationships listed. That is not always the case. It depends on how I'm feeling that day, if I'm feeling like out of balance, or if I feel like I need to add in that category to help me maintain balance. That could be the same case with you. I know for me personally, I just have to analyze what it is that I'm feeling and what it is that I need to add in or I need to take out, depending on what the situation calls for. And that is basically it. After that, I pretty much take the opportunity to add like little stickers or doodles just to help to get the creative juices kind of flowing. And it's also fun. That is part 3 of a 3-part series of life categories and planning out your life and planning out your day. And I really hope that this video helped you to find a little bit of balance in your life. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you like me, make sure you subscribe, and I'll be trying to put out videos every single Thursday. And I can't wait to see you next time. Bye!